Dear students, today in this class, let us learn the second lesson in the prose known as Three Questions. So, this lesson is written by Count Leo Tolstoy. So, before going to know about the lesson, let us know about the poet Count Leo Tolstoy, who has written this lesson. Count Leo Tolstoy is the author of the lesson. Count Leo Tolstoy was born in 1828 and died in the year 1910. He was the Russian novelist and moral philosopher, ranks as one of the world's greatest writers. His War and Peace has been hailed as the greatest novel ever written. His ability to weave stories, his wonderful characters, and his narrative capabilities are appreciated in every part of the world, even to this day. So, this is about the author Count Leo Tolstoy. Now, let us move on to the lesson. Three questions. So, let us see what it is there in the lesson. A king has three questions and he is seeking answers to them. What are these questions? Does the king get what he wants? Let us know the lesson. I am reading the first two paragraphs now. The thought came to a certain king that he would never fail if he knew three things. First one, what is the right time to begin something? Second one, who should a king listen to? Third one, what is the most important thing for a king to do? The king therefore sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum to anyone who would answer these three questions. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. In reply to the first question, some said the king must prepare a timetable and then follow it strictly. Others said it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. The king should do whatever seemed necessary at that time. Yet others said that the king needed a council of wise men who would help him act at the proper time. But then others said that there were some things which could be urgent. These things could not wait for the decision of the council. In order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future, and only magicians can do that. The king therefore would have to go to the magicians. In their answers to the second question, some said that the people most necessary to the king were his counselors, and said priests. A few others chose doctors, and yet others said that his soldiers were the most necessary. To the third question, some said attack, others chose fight, and yet others religious worship. As the answers to his questions were so different, the king was not satisfied. He decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. So they are the two paragraphs, children. Now let us know the meanings for some of the difficult words. So first one, messenger. So messenger, messenger means a person carrying a message. Second one, council, group of people chosen to advise. Third one, hermit, a person who lives alone and leads a simple life. So there are the meanings of the difficult words. Here, messenger means a person carrying a message. Council, group of people chosen to advise. Hermit, a person who lives alone and leads a simple life. So they are the meanings for difficult words. Now there are some opposite words also. Make a note of those opposite words. For example, there is a word never. So opposite of never is always. And one more word, large. Opposite of large is small. And opposite of the word strict is lenient. Opposite of possible is impossible. Opposite of advance is retreat. So they are the some of the opposite words, children, that we would come across, we would come to know in this lesson. Now let me read the first two stanzas and let me explain you the first two paragraphs. The thought came to a certain king that he would never fail if he knew three things. What is the right time to begin something? Who should a king listen to? What is the most important thing for a king to do? So, there was a king and the king got a thought. So, as far as that thought, he had three questions in his mind. First paragraph, the thought came to a certain king that he would never fail if he knew three things. First one, what is the right time to begin something? Who would a king listen to? What is the most important thing for a king to do? The king therefore sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum to anyone who would answer these three questions. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. So there was a king who got a thought. What was the thought? If a king knew three things, he would never fail in his life. So what are the three things that a king must compulsorily know about? They are, the three things were, first one, what is the right time to begin something? So if you want to begin something, what should be the right time? Which is the right time to begin that thing which you want to start? Second one, who should a king listen to? So the second thing is regarding a king. So whom the king must listen, whether it is people or is ministers or common people. So who the king has to listen to. And third one, what is the most important thing for a king to do? So the third one was related to this, that what was the most important thing for a king to do. So there are the three important things that if a king knew, definitely he would never fail in his life. So in order to know about the answer for these three questions or these three things, what the king did? The king sent messengers throughout his kingdom. And not only that, he promised that if anyone gives correct answer for all the three questions, for all the three things, definitely they would get large sum as a gift. The large sum as a gift. But the answers that were received by the king were totally different. The wise man in the kingdom, they all gave answers differently. Second paragraph. In reply to the first question, some said the king must prepare a timetable, then follow it strictly. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. So for the first question, the king received different answers. So some people said that for the first question, that the king must prepare a timetable and he must follow that timetable. According to that timetable, he has to start that work. But others said that it was impossible for anybody to decide the right time in advance to start something or to do something. So the king should whatever seemed necessary at that time. Yet others said that the king needed a council of wise men who would help him to act the proper time. So other people also said that the king should have a council of wise men, and those wise men who are in the council have to guide the king properly to start something on right time. So in this way, the king received different answers for the first question. But then others said that there were some things which could be urgent. Sometimes if there are certain things which needs urgent decision, so at that time what the king has to do? These things could not wait for the decision of the council. If there is some urgent work, so in order to take a decision for this emergency work, people or the king should not wait for the council's decision. So in order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future. So others said that if anyone wants to start, if the king wants to start something on right time, he has to look into the future. And some said only magicians could do that. So for the first question, magicians could give the answer. So therefore, the king should go to the magicians. Now let us see what was the answer given by the people to the king's second question. In their answer to the second question, some said that the people most necessary to the king were his counselors, and others said priests. A few others chose doctors, and yet others said that his soldiers were the most necessary. So, for second question, the answers that the king received were: some said counselors were the most important people for the king, and some said that priests were most important for the king, and some said that doctors were most important people for the king, and some said that soldiers were most important people for the king. So in this way, again for the second question, the king received different answers. Now let us see what was the answer for the third question. To the third question, some said attack, others chose fight, and yet others religious worship. So for second question, for third question, king received different answers. That some said that attack, and some said to fight, and some said religious worship. So according to them, according to the people, they gave different answers for the third question to the king. As the answers to his questions were so different, the king was not satisfied. So the king had three questions. He got different answers for all the three questions. Therefore, the king was not satisfied. So therefore, what he did, let us see. He decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit who lived widely known for his wisdom. So as the king did not get satisfactory answers to his three questions, therefore he decided to seek the advice of a hermit, okay, who is known for his wisdom, who is known for his knowledge. Third paragraph. The king put on ordinary clothes and went to meet the hermit. Before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse with his bodyguard and went alone. As the king came near to the hermit's hut, he saw the hermit digging the ground in front of his hut. He greeted the king and continued digging. The king went up to the hermit and said, "I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer three questions." And he repeated the questions. The hermit listened to the king but did not speak. "You are tired," said the king. "Let me take the spade and work in your place." "Thanks," said the hermit, giving the king his spade. When the king had dug two beds, he stopped and repeated his questions. The hermit gave no answer. Fourth paragraph. 1 hour passed, then another. The sun went down behind the trees, and at last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, "I came to you, wise man, for answer to my questions. If you can give no answer, tell me, so I will return home." So now what happened? In order to meet the hermit, the king came to the hermit's hut. The king put on ordinary clothes and went to meet the hermit. So what did the king do? He put ordinary clothes so that the hermit should not recognize the king. So in order to do this, he wore ordinary clothes and went to meet the hermit. Before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse with his bodyguard and went alone. So before reaching the hermit, what the king did? he left his horse and gave it to his bodyguard who came along with him. So by giving his horse to the bodyguard, the hermit alone went to the hermit. So at that time, what the hermit was doing, as the king came near the hermit's hut, he saw the hermit digging the ground in front of his hut. He greeted the king and continued digging. So when the king went to the hermit, at that time, what the hermit was doing, hermit was digging the ground with the spade in front of his hut. In front of his hut, the king was digging the ground. So in front of the hermit's hut, the hermit was digging the ground. He greeted the king and continued digging. So what did the hermit do? Hermit greeted the king and continued his work. Now let's see what the king did. The king went up to the hermit and said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. And he repeated the 3 questions. So now the king went up to the hermit and told why he had come to the hermit. So he said that, I have come to you, hermit, as you are wise hermit, knowing about your wisdom. I have come to you to know answers for my 3 questions. So he repeated all those 3 questions again. The hermit listened to the king but did not speak. You are tired, said the king. Let me take the spade and work in your place. So the hermit listened to the king's 3 questions but did not say anything. But later on, the king spoke to the hermit that he said that the hermit was tired and therefore the king wanted to dig the ground. So therefore the king took a spade from the hermit and started digging the ground. Thanks, said the hermit, giving the king his spade. So what the hermit did? Hermit gave spade to king and said thanks for taking the spade from hermit by the king. When the king had dug 2 beds, he stopped and repeated his questions. The hermit gave no answer. So after taking spade from hermit, the king started to dig the ground. After digging 2 beds of ground, he repeated the 3 questions, but the hermit did not give any answer for his 3 questions. 1 hour passed, then another. So 1 hour was over, 2nd hour was over. The sun went down behind the trees. So it was evening. The sun was going down behind the trees. So it was evening. At last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said. So finally what happened? The king was a little bit angry. He stuck the spade to the ground and asked the hermit, I came to you, wise man, for your answer to my questions. If you can give no answer, tell me, so I will return home. Oh hermit, I have come to you to know the answers for my 3 questions. Please give me the answers for the 3 questions. If you don't give, at least you tell me that you don't give the answer for 3 questions, I would go back to my kingdom. So in this way, the king spoke to the hermit. Now the 5th paragraph. Here comes someone running, said the hermit. The king turned round and saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. So when the king and the hermit were speaking to one another, at that time what happened? You see, here comes someone running, said the hermit. So the hermit said that someone was running towards them. The king turned round and saw a bearded man. So when the hermit said that someone was running towards them, the king saw, okay, at that time he found some bearded man was running towards them. So what did he do, the running man? His hands were pressed against his stomach. The running man, bearded man, kept his hands like this on the stomach. He pressed his stomach like this and he was running towards the king and the hermit. So the blood was coming out of stomach. Blood was flowing out. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. As soon as the bearded man reached the king, he fainted and fell down on the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. So what did the hermit and king do? They removed his dress, shirt, okay, and saw that they saw that a larger wound was there in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief. So what did the king do? He washed the wound and covered that wound with his handkerchief. But the blood was not stopped. Though the king covered the wound with a kerchief, but blood was coming out continuously. Blood was not stopped. Therefore, the king redressed the wound of a bearded man. Paragraph. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept throughout the night. When he woke up, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man laying on the bed was. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in weak voice when he saw that the king was awake. "I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. "You don't know me, but I knew you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you, because you put my brother to death and seized my property. I had made up my mind to kill you on your way home, but the day passed and you did not return. So I left my hiding place and came upon your bodyguard, who recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. I wished to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your honest, most faithful servant." So now, what happened, you see, children? The man who came to them closed his eyes and lay quiet. So the king who came to the hermit, he was very tired, and not only that, by doing that digging work, he became tired, and therefore he laid on the floor, slept throughout the night. When he woke up, at that time He could not remember where he was and who that bearded man was laying beside him. So now the bearded man who got up and came to king and spoke to the king in low voice. His voice was very weak. So the bearded man asked the king to forgive him, but the king did not know who the bearded man was. Therefore the king said that, who are you? Okay, I don't know you, and why should I forgive you? Therefore the bearded man said that, I know you, O king, I know you very well. I am your enemy. He said, the bearded man said to the king that he was the enemy of the king and he wanted to take revenge against the king. The bearded man wanted to kill the king. So the bearded man made up his mind to kill the king while returning back to his kingdom on the way. But it was too late. The king did not come back. So therefore what happened? The strange man, the bearded man, went to find the king on his way. So he was recognized by the bodyguard of the king, and what the bodyguard did is he wounded the bearded man. Somehow the bearded man escaped and reached the hermit and as well as the king, and thereby what happened? The hermit and the king dressed the wound of the bearded man. So actually the king saved the life of the bearded man, but the bearded man or the stranger, he wanted to kill the king. So therefore by recognizing, he told that the bearded man told the king that the king had punished his brother, and by punishing him, okay, what he did, he took away the property of his brother. So his brother was killed by the king and took away the property. In order to take revenge against the king, he planned to kill him on his way. But what the king did is, the king saved the life of the stranger, the bearded man, and as he saved, therefore what the bearded man said that, so he would serve as a faithful servant. Now 8th paragraph. The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily and to have won him over as a friend. He not only forgave him but also promised to give back the man his property. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the earth and looked around for the hermit. The king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time I beg you to answer my questions, wise man. You have already been answered," said the hermit. "How have I been answered? What do you mean?" So in the 8th paragraph we can see that the king was very happy that the enemy had made peace with the king, and the enemy became friend of the king. So therefore the king forgave the wounded man and promised to give back all the property that he had taken from his brother. So after some time, what the king did, he left the wounded man and went to meet the hermit. So he was searching for the hermit. The hermit was there, and he went to the hermit and asked for the last time that, "I beg you to answer my questions." So for this, the wise man, the hermit, replied that, "I have answered all your 3 questions already." Now the king was surprised to listen this answer. How he got answers from the hermit. So the king was surprised to listen such a answer from the hermit. Now ninth paragraph. Do you not see, replied the hermit, if you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these 3 beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man, and to me good was your most important business. Later, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him, because if you had not dressed his wound, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business. So, in the 9th paragraph, the hermit gave clear picture to the king. So, he said that if the king had not showed pity, okay, on hermit and did not dug the beds, definitely he would have gone to home, or he would have gone to his kingdom. On his way, the bearded man or the stranger or the wounded man would have attacked the king. So therefore, in order to help me, you dug the ground. So that was most important time for you. So this was the answer that was given by the hermit to the king for his first question. And I was the most important man, and for you at that time I was most important man for you, because for my sake you dug the ground. And later on, what you did is you dug the land, so that was your business, and that time was most important time for you. Later on, when man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him. So when that wounded man came to us at that time, you cared for the wounded man. So that was the important time, and that person was important person for you. You would have, if you wouldn't have cared for him, definitely would have died, and not only that, you would have not made peace with him. So therefore, that person at that time was the most important person, and whatever care you showed for that wounded man, so that was your business, and that was your most important work. 10th paragraph. Remember that there is only one time that is important, and that time is now. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. So according to the hermit, which is the most important time for anybody, the very important time for anybody is now. Now means this time is very important for anybody, and why that time, the present time, is very important for anybody, because that is the only time we have to act and to do some work. The most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment. So who is the most important person for you at that time? Whoever the person is with you at that moment is the important person for you. And the most important business is to do that person good, because we are sent in this world for that purpose alone. So what is the important business for you at that moment? Whatever good work you do for that person, so that business is very important for you, because God has sent us to this earth to help others. So this is the very important work or business for anybody. So helping others is very important, and that is the very important work for anybody on this world. So in this way, the king received answers for all the three questions, and the king was satisfied by the answers that were given by or told by the hermit, and therefore he was very satisfied and listening to the answers of the hermit. Okay, so according to hermit, now the present time is very important, and the person who is there with us in that present time is very important person, and whatever good work we do for that person who is with us at that time is very important work. So therefore we should act according to the time. So in this way the hermit gave answers to the king's question. The king was satisfied and went back to his kingdom happily. So this is all about the lesson, the three questions. Okay children, so thank you, thanks a lot.